So I'm just sharing with you a few thoughts on why this work, Hindus for Human Rights, is very important in today's context. I'm sure most of you already know what I'm going to say, but nevertheless, we live in a polarized society, religiously polarized in terms of race, in terms of color, in terms of everything that actually exemplifies the diversity of human beings, of communities, of the way cultures are built. Yet those are the very markers that are today being exploited and used to divide us. In India, as you all know, religious bigotry and casteism are two huge forces of dividing our country. And at this point of time, Hindus for Human Rights is a very important space. Why is it important? We've reached a point, I think, in our society where to be secular, to be embracing of various faiths, various ways of living, is seen as being against or an antithesis of religion or religiosity or faith. This has to be challenged. And this has to be challenged from within the world, the universe, the space of the Hindu. It's not as if the religion or the religious structure is perfect. I'll come to that. But nevertheless, that the spirit of any religion, any faith has to be embracing and love and accepting diversity and rejection is important. And therefore, unless we create a platform where we can claim that yes, we are within the faith, but that doesn't mean that we are not secular. This is also being turned around to say that Hindus are always secular, whereas other religions are not secular. That's also something that needs to be demolished. Secularism is a quality that can be there in any human being, a person of faith and a person of no faith. But a person of faith cannot be seen as being either against secularism, or a person who is secular cannot be seen as a person who is against the body of faith. And therefore, it's important that we come together in looking at these different shades. There are different shades, there are different opinions and different ways of looking at this. And that space needs people who are filled with love, compassion, or willing to, most importantly, listen. It's something that we have entirely lost, I think, as a human race today. Faith and belief are, after all, foundational to our existence. To believe in a superpower, to believe in some omnipresent idea, or to believe in rationalism is all about hope. It's about hoping for a better tomorrow. And therefore, I think we have to also concede here that the liberal world or the world of progressiveness has often sent out the messaging that somehow people of faith, or within quotes, the conservative, are not modern enough, not forward thinking enough. And that is a problem we have created. And I think that acknowledgement of that problem is very important for us. And I do hope that through the work we do, we change that. We change these perceptions and we bring together these various ideas: culture, music, dance, poetry, faith, Rama, Allah, Jesus, or Periyar. They can all coexist in this conversation that we hope to create, and we have been creating thanks to all the work that is being done by Hindus for Human Rights. It's also important at this juncture for reflection within the Hindu faith, and serious reflection that is not coming from condescension, not coming from a position of social caste power, privilege. Because caste is a very important subject that this platform, this movement has had conversations about, and we need to continue. Because a lot of time the idea of the Hindu itself is framed by just people like me. This needs questioning. This needs challenging. Because the fact of the matter is The idea of the Hindu is also something we're just carrying from history, from mythology, from way back in the past. There has not been a true reflection and, shall we say, reimagination of even this. And a rejection of many things within it that we need to question. Because the fact of the matter is, a lot of people reject this faith fundamentally because it is casteist. And we can't deny that there is that component in the way the religion manifests itself, practices itself, and the way it frames society. So how are we going to negotiate this very, very complicated conversation? It's a very complicated conversation. I mean, people have asked this question, can there be a Hinduism without caste being at the bedrock? A challenging question and an important question. So I think this is also a place where such questions are going to be raised and are being raised, and conversations have to happen. And this also means that multiple voices of criticism, of critique, of questioning that challenges ideas of status quo within the religion are also part of these conversations. So I see, Hindus for Human Rights as being a place where people come together. People come together, not necessarily to agree about everything, but they come together because we believe we have to coexist with love and compassion. That's at the foundation. If we have to, we can't do that by brushing things under the carpet or ignoring things that are within and all around us. And that is very important work. And I think in today's world, the voice of the NRI becomes even more important. Because in today's India, a lot of the noise we are hearing is either being supported or generated by a huge population of NRIs across the globe, especially in the United States of America. And I say this openly and frankly. And that needs to change. I do believe that the Black Lives Movement has made a difference, a huge difference, in bringing to the foreground discriminations of various kinds, including caste, and the problems that exist within it. But there needs to be ways by which you nurture these conversations, because a new generation of Indians now who are American by citizen, are there, younger people are there, they need to have diverse conversations. They can't be indoctrinated in universities and colleges to believe in a certain puritanical, even supremacist notion of the Hindu. To be Hindu is to accept the creases and the ugliness that also exists, as much as we celebrate the profundity of all that we have inherited. Therefore, this is only possible if there is a place in North America where people can hear diverse voices, different opinions, and younger people are encouraged to engage with the issues of being an Indian Hindu with the same complexity that these young people engage with the idea of being colored, being from a different race, being from a different country. And that's also where Hindus for Human Rights plays a very, very critical role. I do also believe that you have a huge role to play, we have a huge role to play in the way we influence the government, the United States government, about its policies towards India. You can't talk about democracy, you can't tom-tom to the world about democracy if you don't recognize that in today's India, democracy to a large extent is becoming a farce. That the very structures of democracy are infiltrated, are being subverted, are being manipulated in front of our eyes. This has to be passed on as a very strong message to the government, especially the new Biden government in the United States of America. Therefore, I see the role of Hindus for Human Rights as being a huge spectrum, from political activism and pressure to changing the minds of the younger people of Indian origin in the United States, to engaging with caste as a very important problem within the religion itself, and to also proclaim loudly that being in the faith of Hindu, being a faithful Hindu also means being secular and embracing. And I want to say that the word I use is embracing and love and compassion, and not tolerance, because I think there is a huge difference between these terms. Therefore, I do hope you will support this, because this needs support. This is slow work. Cultural transformation is not magical. It's not going. Everything's not going to change tomorrow morning. It's slow work. It's incremental work, and therefore it needs dedicated support. It needs help, and mistakes are going to happen, but people learn from those mistakes, and that is essential. Partnerships across communities, across continents, across races, across religions, across castes is the way Hindus for human rights can make a difference in the long run. Thank you very much for listening to me, and I do hope that we can move forward. Thank you.